Hello everyone, it's Bakugan Battle Brawler Critter Alex here. I have over 1200 games and a box full of little plastic balls I'm never going to use again. Today we're going to be doing a room tour. I've been meaning to do this video since like probably my second video or something. I just kind of keep not doing it because I have other ideas and things that are kind of more in line with what I want this channel to be in general. That being said, I do want to introduce you guys to kind of my space. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, first off, as you can see by my closet and my crochet framed picture of a duck holding a flower, my game room is also just my bedroom because I live in an apartment and that's just how life goes. I make it work. It's pretty fun just having all the games I want right in my bedroom. That was kind of a big part of it to begin with, so like even if I had infinite space I'd probably still have a bunch of stuff in here. But yeah, that's enough about the non-gaming part of my room. Let's get into the games. Beginning with, well, I'll explain this first. This little pile is my like processing pile, which just basically means I need to make videos about these games, or I need to like do pickups, because on TikTok I do pickup videos for all the games I get. So until they appear in a pickups video, they sit here and then I organize them into where they need to go. They are sitting on top of my Switch games, which I have like 160-ish. It's probably a little more than that at this point. But yeah, I have the most Switch games, which is awesome because obviously the Switch is like a fully portable system and there's just so much you can do on it and has a really awesome and varied library. But it doesn't look that great on a shelf. It's all just red, which that's definitely my least favorite thing about the Switch is the fact that the spines are all just red, which, you know, means it's a good console if that's my main problem with it. Right under that is my 2 rows of Wii games and then my Wii U games that has a hole in it for some reason. I thought I was going to say it's because Yoshi's Woolly World is in my Wii U, but it's right there. So that's not why. I don't know why there's a hole. I guess I just need to buy one more Wii U game. I have a decent amount of Wii games. I think it's like 50 to 70-ish. I have a pretty cool collection, and I will be doing collection videos at some point for pretty much all my consoles, so I'm not going to go into depth with every single game I have because we'd be here all day. But yeah, that's my Wii and Wii U games. Moving over to this shelf, we got my sad PS Vita collection. It's not actually like that small, but I've been tracking what games I play for like about a year now. I have not touched my PS Vita once in that time. I really need to play it. Guys, if you see a game here I should absolutely play, comment it. And then I have 2 Japanese DS games. These were just with my other DS games, but I ran out of room, so now they're here. Also, sorry if it's a little dusty. I'm not going to dust everything just to make this video. There'll be dust. But here are my 2 rows of N64 games. Pokemon Snap is actually missing. Well, it's not missing. It's just in my it's in my N64, so that's why it's not here. I love the N64 though. It's one of my favorite consoles to collect for and play games on. I will definitely be doing a video just kind of about how I feel about the N64 sometime in the near future because I definitely want to talk about it. Next up is my SNES games. These are always like awkward. I don't know. There's like a space above them that I could shove one more game into, but I kind of almost can't. Simant is blocking some stuff. This is 3D Pool on the GBA, and it's here because I ran out of room with my other GBA box stuff, which is right up here. Also next to some SNES box stuff and one Super Famicom boxed game, which is Snoopy Concert. I also will be making a Snoopy game video soon because I want to get all the Snoopy games. It is one of my major life goals. And I also love Game Boy Advance boxes. They're super fun. I generally don't worry about cardboard boxes for games. I'll consider them complete if I just have them like this or like this without the cardboard box. But I really like GBA boxes, so I have a few. Next up's probably the most awkward part of my collection, which is my 3DS games, but also my Famicom and Super Famicom games is kind of shoved in there. I'll figure out something better to do with these. I love collecting import stuff. I have a ton of it, so I needed a dedicated spot for it. This is probably not the most ideal way to do it, but I haven't thought of anything better quite yet. So yeah, those are all my Super Famicom and Famicom games. We also got this little display, which my DS Lite and the tiny little bottle of Tabasco sauce are not part of it. that will be displayed somewhere though, because I got that at a restaurant and it's just so fun. Pink DS Lite, Mew, Need for Speed, Bug on Sega Saturn, which is my only American Sega Saturn games. All the rest, which we'll get to soon, are Japanese. Under my bed, which is a section I'm not gonna harp on for too long, so it's not the nicest looking one for sure, has my Master System, my Genesis, my 32X, and my PSP games because I didn't have room for them on another shelf, so they're on the floor. Yeah. And then finally, the big shelf. Also, I have like one of those art bins that I keep all my Game Boy games in. I'm not going to show it because it's just kind of under my bed. But yeah, that's where my Game Boy games are. But beginning with my second biggest collection, which is my PS2, I have a ton of PS2 games. I've slimmed it down a lot, actually. It's probably like 75% of what it once was, just because I had a bunch of filler and stuff I didn't really need, and I try to be very curated about the games I own, because I already have a ton as is. I don't need to be getting stuff I don't really want. Then, right next to that is, of course, my PS3 games. This is one of my smaller-ish collections. It's not tiny, but I don't have a ton for it. I feel like Gen 7 in general, maybe besides the Wii, there isn't a ton there. But then I have one of my favorite collections, which is probably where I'm going to start my collection videos, because I feel like my PS4 collection is so cool. I have so many just random kind of unknown indie games, so many legendary JRPGs, and everything in between. All this is so right up my alley. The PS4 is a super fun console to collect for. And then this is a little kind of display area that has a bunch of Super Famicom games, all of my Doraemon games, River City Ransom on the GBA, and the first season of Yokai Watch on DVD. Moving up a row to the awkward random shelf that is a different size from all the other shelves. That's where I keep my PS1 games, and then also the beginning of my NES games, which are also stacked here next to two Snorlaxes, two Snorli. The NES is fun. I feel like if I had to stop collecting for a system, it'd probably be the NES, just because I'm not really playing so many of these games on original hardware, just because they don't have save states and stuff. There are some, like RC Pro-Am, they're definitely better on the NES, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not playing like Final Fantasy on the NES. I'm playing that on the Pixel collection. And then here we have my Dreamcast games. Like I said in a recent video, my Dreamcast collection is getting pretty solved, as in I'm getting all the games I want for it. I know Sonic Adventure 2 is a huge one I don't have, but beyond that, I don't think there's a ton of other Dreamcast games I really want. Here's my Saturn collection. Like I said, there's the rest of my Dreamcast collection, and then my Saturn collection. Like I said, it's pretty much all imports except for Bug, because Bug is awesome. I really like the Sega Saturn. These cases and their art look so nice. I want to play a lot more of these games. I definitely will soon. And then we got my GameCube games, which is one of my smaller collections as well, because GameCube games are expensive. This has a lot of my heavy hitters also, like Billy Hatcher and Pokemon Coliseum and Ribbit King, which I got that for $5 outside of a GameStop. Then my only complete in-box NES game, which is Blue Marlin. I really like fishing games. This was kind of an impulse buy, but also, I don't know, it has such a cool picture of a fish, which is something I'm really into, just in general. I love cool pictures of fishes, and yeah, that's why I picked this up. Moving up a row, we got PS5, continuing with the rest of the Sony stuff. Just finishing off here. I have been playing my PS5 a lot more recently. I think it has a pretty cool library. Obviously not a ton of exclusives, but that's not really what I'm worried about. It isn't the Xbox Series X, so it's probably worth having. Next up is my Xbox stuff, my very limited OG Xbox collection. I have a lot more games. They're just in storage because I don't have an OG Xbox at the moment, because they're all breaking and it's probably not worth keeping one up. So these are just the backwards compatible ones I have. And then same with 360, except my 360 is fine. It's just I didn't want to keep carrying it with me, so I only have my backwards compatible games. Then Xbox One, which is kind of similar to my PS4 collection, just toned down. A lot of cool little indie games, and then obviously some classics like Halo and Forza and whatnot. But yeah, it's generally cheapest to buy games on the Xbox One if they exist on the Xbox One. That being said, I probably still prefer getting stuff on my PS4, but there are some really awesome games on here. And then, of course, we got my import PS2 and PS1 stuff, which I will be making a video specifically about this soon, because I just got a Japanese PS2 that I'm very excited about. And then Kirby's Dream Land 3, one of the greatest games ever. Pretty affordable if you buy it boxed from Japan and not the English version, which it works exactly the same on SNES. Anyways, and there's not really any words in Kirby, so yeah, it was easy to play through. Then this is all just display stuff, some Pokemon VHS tapes, some Game Boy Color games from Japan, some pop figures I bought before I hated them, some old Pokemon figures, and then some of these little like arcade cabs. And these are my plug and plays, some fish photos, and my box sets. Just quickly going over my consoles, because it's kind of a mess of wires. We got my pink Japanese PS2. I'm so hyped about this. It's Sakura pink, which can be kind of hard to see on video, because it just kind of looks gray. But it is pink. It looks really nice in person. That black void that you can't see anything in is my Sega Saturn and my Sega 32X. Can my camera focus on it? No. Okay. But you have to trust me. There is a Sega Saturn and a Sega Genesis and a 32X back there. Right next to a Dreamcast. I need to play my Dreamcast a lot more. There's dust on there. I need to play my Dreamcast a lot more. It's very awesome, and I like when it makes a lot of really loud sounds. Getting into even more messes of wires, we got my SNES, which also plays Super Famicom games, because I modded it by cutting it. And my N64, one of my favorite consoles. Love that thing. So awesome. And then my Sega Master System, which for some reason has Stunt Rate FX next to it. I'm just gonna pop that in the SNES real quick. But yeah, the Master System gets its own little shelf because it's huge. We got my Wii, we got my Famicom, we got my top loader NES, which if you have a front loader NES, get a top loader. It's worth it. They work so much better. This, I never really, like, you might have to blow on a cartridge once, but then it just works. It's not as funky as the original NES's. Up here, we got my Wii U, my Sega Saturn. This is just like a stereo sound thing for my speakers. My Xbox One right next to my gigantic PS5. In the back there, hiding, is my Switch. And then through the mess of wires is my PS2, my PS3, my capture card, which is how I get a lot of my footage. And yeah, that is my gaming room in 2024. If I still have this channel in a year or two, I'll do more videos just updating you guys. If you have any questions or any things you'd like to see, let me know. But thank you for watching.